Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan Yan, and today I'll be refuting against my opponent's proposition about water conservation and why California does not need to conserve water. My opponent claims that there are problems in California's irrigation system. California needs to enforce more policies and implementing innovations would conserve and save water. Starting her speech, my opponent has stated that in the year of 2014, California is gradually entering stage 1 of the droughts. However, California is actually recovering from a major drought of 2012. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the drought started this year with 35.7% of the West in moderate to extreme drought, with areas expanding to 69.2% by the end of the year and by the end of June, and shrinking to 29.2% by the end of the year. Recovery from the drought began during late winter and spring for some parts of the West, but by late spring, the normal wet season is far over for the far West. Precipitation for February and March 2014 was near normal for the West region and well above normal for the Northwest region. During the year of 2012, 60% of the United States was in severe drought in comparison to the year of 2014 with 35.7% of drought. My opponent also stated that California intakes approximately 20% of water used on urban civilization, and the majority is for agricultural purposes, around 80%. This evidence is contradictory according to the Public Policy Institute of California, since statewide average water use is roughly 50% environmental, 40% agricultural, and 10% urban, although the percentage of water use by sector varies dramatically across regions and between wet and dry years. Some of the water used by each of these sectors returns to rivers and groundwater basins and can be used again. More than half of California's environmental water use occurs in rivers along with the state's north coast. These waters are largely isolated from major agricultural and urban areas, and their wild and scenic status protects them from significant future developments. My opponent's source, Tapped Out, focuses solely on the point that water conservation is beneficial and that the 80% is used on agriculture, but water usage in California can be used on different things besides land and supporting life. In my opponent's argument about water policies, she stated that Governor Jerry Brown started to enact orders to limit the amount of water that families use in California. She also stated that studies show that an average household wastes around about 360 gallons of water daily. This argument nevertheless is vague, since different households have different amounts of family members. According to the Legislative Analyst's Office, it is stated that average residential water use in 2016 was 85 gallons per person per day. Data also presented in water use was highest in the summer months of June through September, where it averaged 109 gallons per person per day. By comparison, during the cooler and wetter months of January through March of 2016, average per capita water use was only 64 gallons per person per day. It was also stated in my opponent's argument that, according to the Water Rights Handbook, one popular executive order from Governor Jerry Brown was known as B-3716, and it called for residents in cities to ease the usage of water or face consequences. She also stated that the city of San Diego enforced these laws and resulted in positive response in water conservation. Although this law was beneficial to California, my opponent states as an example that San Diego is one of the cities in California to enforce these laws, and this results in the fact that other parts of California might not conserve water as much as San Diego. To put this in perspective, Sam Sanders, author at National Public Radio, quoted that there are 411 urban water districts in California, and most of them have been putting their own conservation measures in place for some time. Some vary greatly, and new state guidelines appear to take that into account. And even within statewide regulations, there are variations. Brown's 2015 executive order says that statewide restrictions will consider their relative per capita water usage for each water supplier service area and require that those areas with high per capita use achieve proportionally greater reductions than those with low use. When issuing claims about water conservation, my opponent also states that there are new innovations and equipment that are used to help conserve water, such as timed shower heads, and she also mentioned that in her speech that urinals and sink combos operate together to wash hands and flush waste down together. Even though these innovations are beneficial, water shower heads may not conserve water properly. In the article Home Water Works, it is stated that replacing your current shower head with a new model that uses 2.5 GPM may or may not save water in your home. Many people already have a 2.5 GPM shower head installed, and as a result, new innovations may help conserve water, but Most of them are not necessary. Thank you.